Hey there, it's Jenny, and I am back to share with you how I planned in my big happy planner that I use as a memory planner. I'm going to be using this Paper Person November kit that I subscribe to because I am a big fan of subscription kits, and I also love receiving paper crafting items monthly, and these are just cute. I am showing you some of the die cuts from the kit that I was considering using, and you can see I just took away the little happy notes, but that is how I plan what photos from the week are going to go in my memory planner. I use an app called Pick Frame to put a collage together, and then I print those 4x6 collages on my Canon selfie printer. It's actually very simple to do, and I've been using this printer for approximately 7 years, and I love it. Can't get enough. Would never ever not have a home photo printer to get all these things done. Now, I also write the date on the little removable edge so that I don't forget, because I have been known to do that. And I want to make sure that I get these where I want them, which my mentality, I tell you every week, is that they don't have to go on the date that they occurred, but if they can and it works, that's what I stick to. As you can see now, I'm placing adhesive on the back of the photos after I remove that little edge that is meant to be removable, and I am sticking them down. I do like to overlap photos at times. Sometimes that sort of gets rid of little areas in the photos that aren't particularly interesting, and then also creates more room. So if I have a ton of photos, which sometimes I do, it will give me more room if I overlap them and layer them together. Also, sometimes it's really just about placement too. That's where they look the best overall. And so there can be a variety of reasons why I choose to overlap the photos. I am using a Scotch ATG gun for my adhesive. This was originally for framing, like framing picture frames on the wall. And you can get the refills of adhesive for very inexpensive, and it is sticky and does a great job. It can be a little difficult at first to get the hang of refilling, but once you know how to do it, it's super simple and really super cost effective. So I am punching a couple of photos into circles for two reasons. One, I like the way it looks. Two, it saves a little bit of room on the page because, as you can see, I was very photo heavy at the end of the week, and it wouldn't have made sense to put those baseball photos over on the other page as they did take place on that weekend. And I do like to try to, keep them where they happened. This is a sheet of cut apart paper that is included in the Paper Person kit, and I wanted to trim this up because I love that little tree. Now I'm going to try to punch it with my punch, but I need to cut it because, as you can see, the edge was too far away. So I'm just going to use the paper trimmer instead of the punch just for this one thing. I ordinarily don't place full 3x4 cards in my memory planner just because I don't prefer it. There'd be nothing wrong with it, and I certainly have before and I will again. But for the most part, I do prefer the closer to 2x3 size for my planner. Now I am going to add some of these die cuts and work on the embellishing along with, the patterned paper from the kit. So I just punched out, look at the back too. It's just, both of them are so pretty. How do you choose? I'm going to layer those together and then use that circular die cut that says November, or an abbreviation for it, over in the left-hand side. Then down at the bottom, next to those two overlapped photos, I am going to place that die cut with the days of the week on it. I actually love that. I wish I could have like 50,000 of them. And this pink paper is just really pretty. I love the geometric shape and then the blush pink color. I'm going to layer those two together and then also layer them with that photo as well. I don't know if you can tell, it's just a photo from the passenger seat in the front seat of a car. We are on our way on a road trip. And so I don't need the whole photo. What's left definitely tells the story. So I'm adding that third little strip just because it helps with that cluster, making it look better. Remember, as we've talked about many times before, the rule of thirds, or keeping it 3 items together, or 5 if you need a little bit more. It's just more visually appealing. It's what your eye wants to see. And so, yeah, it's what I try to do most of the time, unless for some reason a specific cluster doesn't call for it, or, I mean, obviously I am not going to stick to it if I don't like the way it looks, right? All right, so we're going to add that ticket up at the top too. It's just so cool, this kit. There are so many amazing features in it. I just love it, love it, love it. So we are adhering this stuff down now because I'm pretty happy with its overall placement. So I'm layering those 2 pieces together and then layering the circle right on top of both of those, and it turned out great. Now this one I'm just trimming off the very tiniest bottom edge so that it sits flush at the bottom, and I love that. It's just really cool. Now I am considering using one of these cloth and paper sticky notes. I'm not actually going to use it. However, sticky notes can be a fantastic way to add color or shape to a layout, A, easily, B, really affordably. So like a pad like that, yeah, it's $3 or something, but there's like 50 sticky notes on the sheet, right? So it's pretty cost effective for a basic layering shape. Now I also have these Let's Plan It stickers that are good for layering as well, and several of the colors do match this kit. So I'm able to maybe work with a couple of those as well to do some layering. I think that this Paper Person kit is really fantastic. It could use a little bit more embellishments, but the good thing is that it's pretty neutral, and I have tons of things in my stash that I can bring in, like these stickers. So I am enjoying playing with those a little bit, and then I have these Studio Calico label stickers that I'm just going to set aside so that I can use those for the activities. So look how cute that is. I love those. I'm really happy that she brought out that new line of stickers that just sort of look like torn paper edges. I think it makes it even better for embellishing things. All right, so I'm going to use these 2 sheets of Studio Calico stickers to notate the activities and events throughout the week. I am laying them down where I have activities, obviously. And so I am trying to alternate the colors, like not having 2 of the brown or orange ones next to each other or 2 of the pinks next to each other. I wouldn't have to. Obviously, it's a-okay to have them next to each other. I'm just doing that for balance and just because I want to. Sometimes I do stick to one color, sometimes I don't. So when there's a variety, I try to mix it up. I like the way that it ends up looking in the end the very best. So we have now our activities down, and I'm going to now for the weekend kind of dress this up a little bit more. I don't know why I didn't have any real reason that I needed to, but I wanted to do some layering with those activity stickers as well for his baseball games, especially because these things are few and far between. I am enjoying treating them a little bit more special than normal. So hence the layering with the Let's Plan It stickers. I'm not entirely sure I love the way all of these things work out in the end, but I think that like when I'm completely finished and have all of the elements in, it really kind of works out a little bit better. And I find that the little things that I wasn't sure about in the beginning don't bother me quite as much. So I try to reserve judgment until maybe I'm a little bit closer to the end. Unless I hate it, of course, then I tear it up or whatever the case may be. I am using a permanent marker. This is a Tombow Twin something or other. And I am using that to write on those brownish labels. Those are really slick, and I don't know that my regular Papermate Flare pen would dry on there. So using the permanent marker makes the most sense for me, especially because it's just right there in the cup next to my desk where I keep all of my pens that I reach for more regularly. So it's easy enough to get to. I like using this one because it has a couple of different tips. If I needed a thicker tip for the pen, I could have that on the other end, although it would be way too big for any of these planner stickers. So now I'm going to use the flare on the other stickers, those other pink Studio Calico labels. They're they work fine with the flare. I do need to let them dry for just a little bit so that they don't smear, but as long as I'm fairly careful and I let them dry for just a bit, they don't really seem to have too many problems or anything like that. And I have mentioned to you before, they're really inexpensive, $1 a sheet, and they have a large variety of colors. And I find that they match so much, and Studio Calico often has sales as well. And so really you kind of can't beat it for a basic sticker that I don't need to worry about too much. This kit also came with these alphabet stickers, and they're so adorable. Okay, they're not adorable, but I love the font. I love that there's lots of alphas, and then this color just goes really well. It feels super modern as well, and I really like that. So I am writing it's driving to Havasu. So I'm keeping the letters pretty straight, but I'm not a perfectionist, so it doesn't bug me if they're a little bit messy or wonky. But I do realize while I'm doing this why I usually don't do this, because it's a lot harder to line them all up perfectly, and it doesn't really matter that much to me. So that's why I usually keep them a little bit more askew if I have my preference, because it's just a lot easier. Now I'm going to do a very similar thing down in the lower right hand column, except for we are driving home, so that's where those alphabet stickers are going to come in down there. And this is just so fun. I really do love having the alphabet stickers. I think they really break it up and they make things look a lot different, and they draw a lot of attention to themselves, especially when everything else is pretty linear, fairly geometric, and then you throw these alphabet stickers in there and they're cute. Now this is my handy dandy grid washi tape. This is just sort of the blush pinkish peach that I'm just going to add a tiny bit to. Just, a little bit of embellishing here and there. It matches so well, and it really is just such an easy, inexpensive way to add a little bit of interest to the page. Now, this kit came with this enormous 6x8 stamp set, and they're so cool. So they're the days of the week, and then they have a little cutout where you could put afternoon or evening or a variety of phrases in there. And so I am going to stamp the Tuesday down there below the photo. I am using a Stamp Market ink pad, which I love, and I did even firm pressure over the stamp to make sure that I got a good impression. Now I'm going to clean it off with my Huggies baby wipe, and then I will add the other little phrase inside the Tuesday. And I'm going to use a Versa Magic Gold ink pad for that. A, it goes with it. B, I always enjoy the Versa Magic. Versa Magic is one of those inks that it's just, okay, this one's Brilliance. I'm sorry, not Versa Magic, Brilliance. I get them confused because they're very similar. They're just beautiful. It's got a little bit of shimmer to it, and I can never get enough, but it's one of those ones that's a little bit harder to see, so I don't find myself reaching for it as often, but it looks outstanding. All right, so a little bit more washi tape, because I know I have some journaling to do, but not a crazy amount. So I definitely want to add just a little bit more interest in some of these areas. So you see up there at the top, I love it. It sort of brings it all together, pulls your eye into the page down below the washi. I love how that's all coming together. Now really the only thing left to include is some journaling. So I am using my magnetic mat and then the ruler and going to draw the lines. I don't line them up with one another. A, I don't prefer the look, and B, it's a lot harder to do to have the edges match each other. So I like to make them a little bit off, if you will. And I prefer that look. And I also really like the lines, the contrast of the black on the white, and how it's really stands out and is pretty bold. So that's why you will find me doing this very often in my memory planner, because I just really like the way it looks. I have done it with mild liners now instead of the Flair pen, and that turned out really cool too. So I will probably be doing that as well more often now that I have given it a try. So the journaling, I don't typically journal for each day. I really just sort of give a general overview for the week. That doesn't mean that I don't sometimes journal for a specific activity or a specific day. But by and large, my general idea is to do this large journaling blocks where I just kind of talk about, oh, this is the stuff that went on. But I definitely do talk about things if I have a specific thing that needs to be addressed or that I want to specifically remember. So that's where we're at with that. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.